Only 5% of people can resist temptation. And the discovery I will share at the end of this is the one most psychologists never discuss publicly. The concept of discipline is often misunderstood, and many people believe that willpower is the key to achieving their goals. However, research has shown that willpower is a limited resource that can be depleted quickly. This is known as ego depletion, a term coined by psychologist Roy Baumeister. When we use our willpower to make decisions or resist temptation, our brain's energy levels decrease, making it more difficult to make subsequent decisions. This is why many people struggle to stick to their diets or exercise routines. They start out strong, but as the days go by, their willpower dwindles, and they eventually give in to temptation. But what if I told you that there's a way to overcome this limitation? What if you could develop the habits of highly successful individuals without relying on willpower? The next pattern is the one that keeps the most intelligent people trapped. Sigmund Freud once said, "The uncontrolled ego is a slave to its impulses." This quote highlights the importance of understanding the role of the ego in our decision-making process. According to Freud, the ego is the part of our personality that mediates between our conscious and unconscious mind. It's responsible for making decisions based on reality, but it's also influenced by our unconscious desires and impulses. When we try to use willpower to control our behavior, we're essentially trying to override our ego's impulses. However, this approach is flawed, as it neglects the underlying causes of our behavior. Instead of trying to control our ego, we should focus on understanding its motivations and desires. By doing so, we can develop a more nuanced understanding of ourselves and make better decisions. As Freud noted, the ego is not master in its own house. This means that our conscious mind is not always in control, and our unconscious mind plays a significant role in shaping our behavior. What the research shows next will make you question every decision you have made this week. One of the most significant insights from Freud's work is the concept of the ID and the superego. The ID represents our primitive, instinctual nature, while the superego represents our moral principles and values. According to Freud, the ID and superego are in constant conflict, with the ego trying to mediate between the two. This conflict is the root of many of our psychological struggles, including anxiety, depression, and self-doubt. By understanding this conflict, we can develop a more compassionate and nuanced understanding of ourselves. We can learn to accept our imperfections and weaknesses, rather than trying to suppress or deny them. This is the key to developing true self-discipline, rather than relying on willpower. As Freud noted, the goal of psychoanalysis is to make the unconscious conscious. By bringing our unconscious desires and impulses into awareness, we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and develop the habits of highly successful individuals. The last insight on this list is the one most people cannot face about themselves. So, how can we apply these insights in our daily lives? The first step is to develop self-awareness. We need to understand our motivations, desires, and impulses. We need to learn to recognize when our ego is trying to override our unconscious mind, and when our ID is driving our behavior. By developing self-awareness, we can make better decisions and develop more constructive habits. The second step is to practice self-compassion. We need to learn to accept our imperfections and weaknesses, rather than trying to suppress or deny them. By practicing self-compassion, we can develop a more positive and supportive relationship with ourselves. The third step is to set realistic goals and develop a plan to achieve them. We need to break down our goals into smaller, manageable steps, and create a schedule to achieve them. By following these steps, we can develop the habits of highly successful individuals and achieve our goals without relying on willpower. In conclusion, the psychology of discipline is more complex than we often assume. Willpower is not the answer, and relying on it can lead to burnout and frustration. Instead, we need to develop self-awareness, practice self-compassion, and set realistic goals. By doing so, we can develop the habits of highly successful individuals and achieve our goals without relying on willpower. And the discovery I promised to share at the beginning of this video is that the key to developing true self-discipline is to understand the role of the ego and the unconscious mind in our decision-making process. By bringing our unconscious desires and impulses into awareness, we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and develop the habits of highly successful individuals. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos on psychology and personal growth. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. If this video helped you understand yourself or someone around you better, subscribe. New psychology insights every single day.